Hello, friends and fellow gamers. I am That Zero, and today we are back to chat on some more Last Cloudia. On the agenda for today, we are going to be doctoring another account. We got a dude that I actually caught in Buddha's chat during the live stream, and I had nothing better to do, so we hopped on over here, and we're going to see what we can do. So I have not much context. KAS, is that what you normally go by, or you prefer something else?
Yeah, KAS is fine.
KAS, cool. All right, KAS. So, what do you got? I have looked at zero things on your account. Is there particular areas you're struggling, or that looking for advice on things like that?
Yeah. So, more in the more recent months, I've gotten into arena.
Okay.
My attack team, I'd say I probably have a good base knowledge. I'd say. Um, Outside of that, my defense team, I have put zero thought into it because how could I put this? I don't feel that I have all of the points, like the knowledge points. I would have to
Sure.
say for an effective defense party.
Sure.
Other than that, is managed to beat a lot of the bosses, but not in the ways that like for speedruns, for example. I feel like that's a quality test of how well you know your characters. So
Sure. Okay. Cool. So, if we get anything out of this, one of the things you would like is some direction on defense and what else? So you said you haven't completed all the bosses. Have you attempted some of them?
all right, that was a wrong way to go about it. I have beaten
Oh, okay.
I think
Okay.
99% of them. I think the last one I have left is Idel, which I have to use like the beast
Yeah.
units,
Yeah.
and I built none of
Okay.
those.
Cool.
So yeah,
Sweet. So
outside of that,
you're looking good, dude. I've got three to beat yet. I'm sure I can. I just haven't taken the time to go do it. So except Mother, she's a hoe. So
yeah,
I've tried. I tried today, because I've been putting it off and I couldn't quite get there. So I think I got her to the final damage phase doing it the legit way, and I couldn't quite do it. So
yeah, no, I couldn't do the legit way. I had to use the murder arc.
yeah, that's probably what I'll end up doing. But I don't know. I want to see if I can do it because I have pieces to do it. Merity's a boss, and yeah, I was very close. But
I
anyway.
did it pre-fix, so
Sweet. All right. Well, let's start out taking a look at what you got here. So, at an initial glance, I mean, there's a great team for offense, and defense seems pretty reasonable as well. So, um,
see, the thing is, I can beat my defense team very easily.
okay. So,
So
here's the real question. You want to have some sort of a strategy, especially when it comes to defense. You either want to be killing people, you either want to be able to kill the enemy team, or you don't want to let them score a single point on you. You have
right,
pieces that you can make the cancer team, which is not letting them capture points, hopefully. I will say it is
right,
harder to do now, because spell render is in the game, which, um, for formations, if you have the points, which you do, if you don't have spell
yeah,
render,
I've been using it. I've been using it.
you have. Okay, I just saw you were on Swordbreaker right now, so
Yeah, because I started to see
yeah, just
the
testing.
soldiers started to become my problem. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't played with a lot of the other ones. I've heard there's definitely some utility to them, and there could be some stuff on defense as well. But in general, we can go through what the. Do you know what the core like of how the cancer teams work, or like what I even mean when I say that?
Right. Right, because I've definitely fought. I would think a couple of them and I've avoided them. So I don't
Yeah.
have Gen, so I don't have like a really good battery for SC,
Oh,
and I
that's
know he's another
yeah, that's
character
fine.
that can prevent deaths, right?
He,
Um,
kind of. He helps to reduce it just by reducing crit chance, so thus increasing survivability. But honestly, this comp you have right here, totally fits for it. So the main goal is Kyle manages to provide a health buffer so that they can't quite confirm kills. Rudo is AoE healing. Hopefully, Theory is AoE healing. Do you have? Were you around for the Valentine's Day event?
I did not grind it.
Did you at least get the free arc?
I don't believe so. No.
You done fucked up, bruh.
I don't believe so.
Well,
That's what that other arc was.
yeah, look forward to when Valentine's Day rolls back around. I'm sure we'll be able to get it. But yeah, Maiden's Lovely Banquet gives you.
Right, that's what that was.
Yeah, yeah, it helps a lot because you can give that to Theria and you can get her to 70% cast speed. So instead of using God Heals ever, she just uses Stardust Heal. Time Stop
Stardust,
heals
okay.
everybody. But if you can't hit 70% cast speed, it's probably not worth because it needs to act like a God Heal to be able to break it. And I think you need
Right.
Maiden's Beloved to do it because you're not going to be manually casting recast on her or something.
Right.
I mean, on offense it could work, but I don't think you can get the AI to do that well enough. So
No.
that's fine. So she can be God healing. Rudo can be AoE healing or God healing, which is great. I would say instead of Blizzard, which is what I assume you're on Zekis with, you should probably have Grand Cross.
See, all right. So that's what I had before.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
And I guess I just didn't build it out right because the issue I was running into when I was sparring with my own team is that I don't know if it's because I normally use my main damage dealer to go for the back line immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't auto any attacks. I always go for the back line.
Yep.
I always end up killing my Zekis
Okay.
and my Theria before he could even get the Grand Cross out.
Okay. Well, I can tell you why that is.
And
You
I
had-
don't have him at ADSC.
Well, that you have HP up 3 on him.
Yeah, I don't know why that's there. Yeah, why is that?
No, I'm saying shit's weak. You should have all the HP ups on him. Like the people you want to live, you should be buffing the shit out of their health pool. Have you beaten Tower?
I have.
You have? Sweet. So you have the Tower Arc. The Tower Arc has basically the best, HP plus because it gives you to base. It increases your base HP, which means all your HP ups scale off of it. So for me, on defense, bare minimum, I have HP plus 2, HP max, HP 4 on everyone. Minimum. On my casters that are squishier, if I have the room, I will often just stack everything. Like, I'll just stack, even though they're not that efficient on SE, I'll just stack all the HP ups. And then you should also have things like Awaken. Are you
Which
running?
I do.
You do have Awaken. Okay, great. So when you have more HP ups, Awaken puts in more work. Because if it heals you to full, then they have to chew through all that health that you've booned up twice. So, yeah, it just helps a ton. Same with Kyle. How's your Kyle looking? Yeah, Kyle too. Like, Kyle, if your strategy is to just not lose a life and make it really, really hard for them to kill anyone, Kyle needs to be maxed on HP. Like, through the roof.
That's the issue that I was kind of sort of dealing. I was on the edge with. I was like, because these teams, so that like the cancer teams, when I come across them,
Yeah.
when I don't feel like,
Mm-hmm.
because I actually don't like to play the same person a lot too much.
Yeah, of course.
Because I feel like I'm not learning anything.
Sure.
But what I tried to do is when I come against those teams, I look for the weakest character
Mhm.
and I make sure all my characters stay on that one, so I at least get 1 point.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's I was trying to think like, all right, so maybe I should try to build some type of defense and attack, but yeah, clearly that hasn't been working.
All right. So let's take a look at some of the other tools that you have for keeping people alive. So how does Theria usually do? Like, so you usually try taking out Zekis first, right? And he dies. So we need to buff him up. HP ups are one of the quickest ways to do it. Another thing you
My
can.
Theria sucks, by the way.
Your Theria sucks. Okay. Well,
She's not at ADSC.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, she's kind of a boss by herself. Like, you could have 0 points on her, and she's worth running in arena. It's like, she's just the simple fact that her existing means you get to ignore the feint mechanic altogether in the game, so she's busted.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So if you don't have her on your team, you're at a heavy advantage, because if you don't just insta-kill the team and the fight goes on for like 30 seconds, you will lose the rest of the match, because you'll be feinted and the other team won't. Or vice versa, you know? So, alright, I don't remember. Is Wing of Wisdom one of the, Auto Revival. Okay, cool. Yeah, that seems pretty great, but, I'm curious what other stuff you have here. Do you have the shield? Okay, so who do you have this on? You have it on Rudo.
Yeah, I didn't really think he needed the defense buff, but again, I was like,
So,
killing him super easy.
yeah. So Rudo was dying quick. Yeah, I think that's totally fine. It also wouldn't be a bad idea on Kyle, because the way that Kyle's HP buff works. So if somebody's about to die and they get a barrier from Kyle, he gets his current HP. It is not his max HP. So if somebody happens to hit him when they're on their way, like with Helter Skelter from Nero, for example, which is super meta right now, if they go through Kyle to get to Zekis, Kyle might only be at half health, and then Zekis' shield to not die is going to be weaker. So if you can buff Kyle specifically for his defense and his health, the more HP he can have, the bigger the buffer on your other units to die is going to hopefully be. So that might be something worth considering.
I think it's the whole trying to balance the defense with some type of attack is what threw me off with my defense team.
Yeah, so I think that focusing on one or the other is going to be best. So if you want to just make it so that you can't die, we have to commit to that altogether. If you want to try making something where you actually kill people, then we could do that. But odds are pretty high you're not going to do both. Like, maybe you'll snag a kill here or there and then stall out the match, but more likely, like, if they just don't get a point and there's 0-0 on the board, you win on defense. So you do not need to snag a kill if you're annoying enough. So that's the thing. Now that said, with Spell Render coming into the game, me and my team of like just an endless library of fully built units, I can go in and like, generally these cancer teams that have been big problems, I can usually snag some kills or completely get a win now, just because Spell Render is so good. So it's a bit harder for them to compete, but they can be annoying. So at the very least, you may not make progress because people might not want to fight you sometimes. Like, people might just avoid you because seeing this comp, people just get scared usually. And they're just like, oh, fuck that. I'm not going to fight Rudo, Kyle, Theria, and Zekis. Like, that is... you could swap any of them for Gen, and it's just as annoying. But Zekis, I would say, is on par with Gen for being annoying, because he can keep himself alive. But, yeah, so... I do think Grand Cross is probably better. Zekis is going to be the best mage that you could have, because he auto-heals and he comes with auto-recast. So, auto-recast, pretty big. Trying to think of what else you really need. I assume he comes with high-level magic chant. You already have cultist pendant on him, so yeah, I think that's pretty much all you need. I don't know if the book is necessary. The book is going to make him die more. So that's another problem. Like, it can be good for certain cheesy things, but when people aren't getting flinched in the first 10 seconds anyway due to pirate ship, you don't necessarily need that quick cast speed. The way that I used to run my defense team is I would have basically what's called a brace for impact strat, which is I don't care about running all my skill charges or like all my things. All I care about is just surviving the first 10 seconds when people are coming to try to assassinate things. And then after that, I have people spamming AoE heals, and I have Spirit Breath on my DPS so that they can go and get their skills charging and stuff. And as long as they've blown their load of all their initial skills and I survive, then I can kind of start making a comeback, or at least be annoying enough to CC people into oblivion. So that's probably
That's how my attack team is.
That's how your attack team is, yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of like take the initial hits and then you go in and start piling on.
Yeah, more so the way that I built them recently. My Kyle has been allowing my Zekis and Theria to survive a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And because Baran can't be, as long as he's doing a move, he can't be like moved.
Yep.
Like, that's how
it's very
doing
hard.
Most of my damage. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard. He can be flinched, but he's pretty resilient overall. Yeah, I've been able to get some attack chains going through Grand Cross, which is pretty fantastic. Yeah, he's a beautiful unit. So, okay. So yeah, HP ups I would definitely recommend if you had. Let's take a look at some of your arcs and see if there's anything that you're like, you very clearly have a good basis and like understanding of a lot of the stuff, because you're running a lot of things you should, like Ghost Hime, I believe I saw in your units. I believe this in general is like best on Rudo. I don't remember if you had it on Rudo or Kyle, but either way, running it on Rudo. Okay, yeah, so I mean that's super on point. You've definitely got a good library. I'm gonna change this sorting. Oh, it is Arc Ether. Okay. I'm just going to do default. I have mine by Arc Ether, which happens to go by default. All right,
Yeah. See, the
so
thing for me
Jesus
was is like
Christ, God, your
been playing
account's
for
so
so
stacked.
long. I've been playing for so long. I felt like I should have had a lot of these Arc Ethers more done, but
Yeah,
I've just been picking and choosing which ones I kind of liked for
yeah, yeah.
PvE.
All right, so I'm just going to go through a couple of options for arcs to just keep people alive. So, such as
Okay.
Zekis. One, Beast of the End, easy include, especially if you choose to stay on Blizzard, which is not bad. I would say Blizzard is probably second best, and it's more reliable because you don't always need as much cast speed. But if you're going to run Blizzard, run this. Because this is going to buff your ice damage anyway. Gives you Sorcerer Slayer, which Zekis does good physical damage anyway if he ends up attacking at all. And then he just becomes beefier from attribute resistance, and most importantly, he doesn't take critical hits anymore, which means that spiky damage isn't quite there as much. Like Nero's neutral damage is still going to hit hard, and some units are still going to hurt. But not being able to take crits at all is going to be huge for survivability. And then when you cast Blizzard, you could potentially be silencing your opponents if they're dumb enough to not run ailment resist.
And see, all right, so and that's the thing. I used to have that on him, but now that you've told me, since my defense team should have more HP ups on him,
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that was the bit of the disconnect right there, because I had that on him and he was still dying.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a combination of things. And there's other things you can do to boost your survivability, too, if you have the room, if you have the SC space. Royal Armor, if you're not running this arc, can give you, I think it's like a 50% chance or something to reduce down to criticals. Illusion is like a 10% chance to take no damage from physical hits.
Relying on illusion.
Yeah, I don't like it either, but if you have the points, it's only 5. So I don't hate it, but it's also not great. So it's kind of a last resort if you're like, I don't know where to put points. I guess I'll do a little more survivability. But in general, HP and Awaken are one of the biggest things. Another kind of cheeky thing that you could do that I used to do on Theria. I don't anymore because I feel like I've gotten her to a stable enough point that I don't need it. But I used to put on armor equip, and then I'd put some big defense armor on, and then some defense ups. So like Stone World to make it so that you can't take piercing damage, and you get a plus 20% to defense, and then maybe defense max or something, or defense 3, like something minor. And my Emtheria was at like, I think 17 or 1800 defense. Like, it's pretty impressive for a defense. And it would catch people off guard because they're like, why am I not doing any damage?
Yeah, I think I've ran it. I wonder if that was.
I
fought your team like twice. And
Maybe.
I know I've only come across 2 M theories that I couldn't kill. And I was wondering like, what the hell is going on?
That could be a piece of it. Another thing you can do that I found works really well, especially on these mages because they have high mind, is running a guard package. I've started doing that a lot more. So it looks like you're already on it for her, which is great. So what is her actual defense at? 'Cause I think she has fair defense at least.
I don't think mine is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, yours not too hot. I've seen a few people running this. What is this? What does this do that matters? Okay,
So-
party's curse resistant up. Okay. Automatically
It's mainly for the MP recovery that I do it.
How
Because
much
I don't
how much
have
MP
roll.
how much MP recovery does it give you? 'Cause I feel like it
Um,
can't be that great.
It's not huge, but it's definitely better than running without it because I don't have any of the robes from the other 2 arcs that grant the MP regen.
They wouldn't not do anything for her anyway.
They would okay.
Yeah, so just to let you know, yeah, Subaru's jersey, great. I either run that or Mummy Suit. Mummy Suit is even better.
Okay.
So Mummy
I
Suit,
got that on Zekis.
perfect. Yeah, that's what I was going to recommend anyway. So yeah, revives plus some health bumps, which is great. But yeah, those robes you're talking about, they give you basically the equivalent of Auto Magic Circle or Auto Advanced Magic Circle, and she comes with Auto Advanced Magic Circle, so the robes do nothing. It does not stack.
All right, and so I was thinking that I could use that's why I have the rod that she uses to gain to gain a chance for MP on regular attacks.
Sure.
I was gonna use that in conjunction with the arc or the robe.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
you're saying
And
is those don't stack.
I don't think it's going to do enough.
Okay.
I mean, this wand can do stuff, but ideally, you don't usually want her doing basic attacks, and her stuff, even though she discounts it, is still kind of expensive, and having a chance to get 1 MP is pretty weak. Like, it's not going to do much. It's very rare that's ever going to get you an extra cast overall.
And this is in terms of the defense, right? Because it's going to be the AI running it.
I mean, defense or offense. I mean, I highly... Even if you manually control Theria to just spam regular attacks, at the end of the day,
I'm not going to lie. That's what I've been doing. What I'll do is I'll get Zekis to do the Earth Magic attack.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it's called. And then I'll switch to her, spam it, and then have both of them cast Glass Record.
Have you... I mean, that's cool. I like it. But do you... Is it that is actually making the difference, though?
Yes, because when I don't do that, what I've noticed is she'll or maybe it's just a weakness of my team to do the whole HP thing.
Sure.
What I've noticed is she'll only average around 60, maybe 50 to 60 MP before the match is over. And usually, like, she spends it most of the time just using God Heal. So
okay, something that could also serve you very well that I think would probably end up doing more than this is simply running higher MP gear. So you could run, for instance, a staff that has a high amount of MP, like her staff.
Her staff, yeah, right.
Like her staff, like I would totally use her staff. I mean, it's got good bind and it's got plus 50 MP, because the magic circles are a percentage. So if you buff MP here, and then what you do is you come in and you teach, at the very least, MP max and MP3. These are probably the best boons for SC. The other ones are a little bit just not as valuable for the amount that you spend. These ones are pretty on point, especially MP3. I think that is by far better than all the rest of them. Anyway, which you have on, which is really good. But anyway, you do that and you scale it up, and when you have her max MP pool higher, her natural regen every 6 seconds is going to be even higher. So instead of getting 12 back, you might be getting 17 back, which I guarantee there's no way you're getting like 5 procs off of that Yazdril rod.
Not at all.
Like there's no way. And especially when it costs like, what, 40 or something to be able to use hers. I mean, I would say if you're going for like a Glass Record play, that's the time to be using the... Okay, you've got the book on Zekis for that. So for offense, you've got it on someone, which is great.
They're just... I tried to, because again, I don't have Gen, so I tried to use them as the SC battery for Baron.
Yeah. I won't say anything on offense because it sounds like you're doing fine for now, right?
Yeah. Like
you're doing fine, so I'm not gonna jack with your stuff. Yeah. Let's get back to surviving and stuff. I don't know what exactly this does. This effect, the recovers MP, because that could be similar to the robes we were just talking about. So let me check the arcs on Goldmine real quick here. Let's see. I have Holy Flag,
and this is a recent adjustment. I had the defense. The what is it? Adds 15 defense, minus 50.
Yeah. Ancient Weapon Laugen. Is that the one?
Yeah,
okay, cool. Yeah, that's one that I'd normally recommend just because, in addition to that passive, the core stats on it are really solid. So it just gives you a big defense buff. Which can be decent. So, let's see here. Yeah, just for surviving in general, it could be good. So if you find she's dying a lot, it could be a good option. But I mean, that can go on Zekis too. That can go on anybody if you just find that they die a lot, similar to the Beast at the end.
Gotcha.
So, but again, Beast at the end could probably go on Zekis if you're going to keep him on Blizzard. Otherwise, go to Grand Cross. I think that's kind of the next level of annoying, just because there's very few things that can deal with it aside from maybe Rudo. Right. So,
okay, so
yeah, Blizzard's probably second best though. I think only Ray gets around, and Ray doesn't get used a ton, anyhow. All right.
See, that was one of the major things when I first started Arena. He would always nuke my backline.
Dude, yeah, Ray carried for a long time, but then again, Dilmordo carried for a very long time too, and then he fell off really hard. So, all right. Let's see. I had filters on my stuff, so I'm taking a little extra long. I apologize, and you can't see any of it. Okay, so it is just heal a flat 2 MP every 6 seconds. So, I mean, that's not bad. And you get the curse resistance buff. So, like, for an SR, it's not bad, but I feel like you probably get more by just making her more survivable.
Just say it's a flat 2 every 6 seconds?
Yeah, it's a flat 2 MP every 6
Oh,
seconds.
that's bad. Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Well, hold on. Let's see what the actual effect is. Yeah, it's purple in Goldmine, and I think purple is what Lake usually indicates as a fixed number. So,
Okay.
yeah, but it doesn't mean that it stacks. If it was percentage based, it would probably be Magic Circle, which means that it literally does nothing for you. So at least it does something. So if you're in a case scenario where like on the second or third tick of MP regen in Arena, you're like a couple MP short of casting your first spell, that's when something like that could be handy. Like that extra couple of MP to sort of get something going. If you're wanting a boon to something like that, for just getting a first cast on something, do you have the music box from the like Christmas Dunes arc or some shit?
I don't have the Christmas Dunes arc either. Yeah.
Okay, all right. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a cheesy thing you can do because it gives you a chance to start with like 5 to 10 MP extra. So some people would run that with the reduced cost that you're currently running, and then you could literally just like Blizzard in the first second of the game. But when people aren't flinching anyway, it doesn't really matter. But it was still kind of cheesy because I think it could knock people up. But yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I would say I would probably be running her just on her staff, if nothing else. Like it's a pretty solid staff. I don't think that it breaks the game by any means, but it's still good. Getting some extra SC towards your skills means you could potentially use her S2 or S3 to be able to cleanse you, because I don't think you're running
Then my
ailment recovers. Yeah, your ailment recovers are not great. In that vein, even if you're not getting everything up there, I would probably get some of them. Kyle is perfect to use holy water with. Just because he comes with a weakness to it, to curse. Everybody else, I think, probably has pretty good natural resistances. Okay, so he's got curse. He doesn't really care. Yeah, I mean, fixing illness on people would probably be good. Silence on Rudo would be good. He comes with it. He only has a +1 in curse because of her boon. But yeah, so do you know what holy water actually does?
Yeah, it makes it so that even if they use the that move that reduces a weakness, you literally can't go back into.
It effectively gives you up. It effectively gives you +4 to curse. Right, so yeah. So that's technically what it does. So let's see. What do we actually? What do we actually got for these? So you got.
Now, the only reason I have that restore 10 seconds of SCT to his third skill is because I also used to use him and Baron to immediately get to somebody else's backline.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I think that's great.
Gauntlet, I just tried out.
Yeah, Gauntlet I would swap out on defense for sure. In fact, that's where I would put in the carbon fiber shield, probably.
Gotcha.
So I'd put that in and probably try beefing his defense and his HP up. So that's what I would work on, is get him on a bunch of these, get him on some, probably not defense 5. I think this is probably pretty bad on, or defense 4. Yeah, I don't. That's probably not a good rate, I'm guessing.
Yeah, no.
So yeah. But like maybe I think 3, 2, and 6 for attack and defense and magic defense are the ones that are most efficient. If you have Stone World could be pretty nice. There's very few instances where being a stone type is negative unless they're using Tsukasa, but that's pretty rare these days. Right. Most people don't run Stonebreaker or whatever. I would even say, Determination is bad. I wouldn't even run it.
Yeah, I've been trying that out, and I was like, I don't think that does anything.
It's real bad. The problem with it is, like, it prevents the first tick of damage, but it only brings you up by, like, a tiny amount of health, and it doesn't save you beyond that. So if you keep taking ticks of damage, you'll just die anyway. So it doesn't matter. So it's, like, really bad Awaken for 6. So, yeah, I'd get rid of that. What I would actually do, just to keep him surviving, Celestial Mass.
Okay.
Like, Celestial Mass is probably the reason people are really annoying. Some people might even run them on their casters. It is literally you use a flat 3 MP every time you take a hit of physical damage. Lose 3 MP to cut the damage by 50%.
Yeah, I had that on.
I mean, it's pretty silly. The only negative is, like, obviously it can eat through some of your MP, and Zekis can have that problem anyway, because if he's reducing the damage through this, and then if he gets down to 1 HP and there's no Kyle barrier, then their attacks are just draining his MP, so he just might not be able to cast. But hopefully with the heal package and things like that, you'll be able to get some MP back, and worst case, you have them burning skills, spending a lot of effort to take him out.
Right. Okay.
Another thing, if you didn't know it, yeah, let's get rid of this. What magic are you running? You're just running her full kit? Okay. Alright, that's fine. I don't think it really matters. I don't think she does much for dumb things. Do you have a focus on her? Okay, so if you have her... I would not have her focused on healing. Like strategy, I would actually put no priority. Reason being, if you have it set to focus healing, she does not give a single fuck if she can't actually heal you. So for instance, Rem, when she's in her demon mode, cannot be healed. And enemies that have, or allies that have illness cannot be healed. If they get down to like 33%, or even probably 40%, she's just going to spam and use all of her MP on God heals attempting to heal them, even though she can't do it.
Yeah, that has happened to me.
Yeah, but if you have it on auto, when they get down to like 30%, she will automatically use the most logical healing spell anyway. If multiple people are weak, then she'll try using Stardust if it's equipped. If not, she'll use God Heal. But it also means that she'll be willing to use her MP on things like cures too. Yeah, like Cure All. So yeah, so just be on auto. It is a much better way to run Theria. I have tested. The only exception is I put it on automatic right now, but I have her on instacast because I do AoE heals. So I'm okay if she doesn't manage to, like, if I get somebody stuck with illness and she just wastes all her MP just continually healing the party, I don't care because she's not wasting it on one unit. Everybody else is getting barriers from her too. So I'm okay with it in my specific build, but before I was on this build, I found she performs far, far better when you're not focusing on healing. She's too easy to exploit on the other side, unless you go and make sure that you are like +3 in all your proper ailments, including illness. So, because right now your current team, I'm guessing a V will obliterate you.
Oh yeah, it's happened to me.
Like not even close, which is fine. If you just want to concede, hey, I'm not going to win against V's, that's fine. I'll take a couple wins here and there if I can get them. That's fine. You know, we don't need to have the bar super high. You're working on it. But yeah, something that will help as well with those resistances is Paladin, if you don't have it. Yeah, the Paladin formation is super good. You don't actually have enough for it because it costs 1,000. It's one of the older ones, but
right.
That's the one that gives you a +1 in all your resistances.
Right.
So that one can be super duper nice as well.
That'll be the next one.
Yeah, but again, I don't know much about these for like Shield Breaker and stuff. I haven't tested them enough to really know. So like Shield Breaker, Sword Breaker, whatever. One of those might be super duper good.
I don't know about on defense, but they definitely work for offense.
Nice.
Especially if you like to manage your characters, they definitely work for offense.
Good.
Especially if you stack them with the Slayers. Oh yeah, it's a slaughter.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. I don't think I can ever take off Spell Render now that I have it. Just because of the SC that you get to start with is obscene. It is so dumb. It's so incredibly dumb.
Starts off with all full stock skills. I love it.
Yeah, and Nero is like, I think, has to charge for 2 seconds, and he gets 2 Helter Skelters and full charges of his Overbreak or whatever that's called. Yeah, it's.
See, he became my main problem when I was attacking defense parties, which is why I tried to. I started trying out Swordbreaker.
What else do you have? You have Nero, and you're not using him on offense. Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Well, what is this? What is that? Did he just not work for you? Oh, you're just trying stuff out? All right. Yeah, so I would say it's also worth noting, like I said, I would commit to a strategy. If you want to commit to, I just don't want them to get a kill, then your current team is great. Just focus on getting their HP up, defense up, things like that. If you want to be really annoying and hopefully snag some kills, I would probably swap out somebody like maybe even Rudo for Nero.
Okay.
So basically, make things annoying where Kyle's super beefy and hard to take down, and Zekis is going to be doing like Blizzard or outpacing people with Grand Cross or something to be really annoying, and Theri is going to be hopefully doing some healing and things. But then Nero is just made to have, a bit of health so they can't insta-nuke him if they want to. And then just lots of damage. So that at least he can catch people off guard with a helter-skelter and just out of nowhere snag a kill or 5. Just he's really dumb. I've had some arena games where I went back and looked at the replay and I was like, okay, so I'm chasing this guy down. I'm winning. I have all the things. I am just going to get this Ruto over here. And then my game lagged for a half a second and my entire party was dead. And I was like, what happened? Oh, I see. My game didn't load fast enough because I'm on Android. Nero respawned and helter-skeltered my entire team. Got it. Cool. Cool.
It's a bad feeling when that happens, man.
Yeah. It's fun. But anyway, Nero, if you have him, he should probably be used.
Okay.
But yeah, at the very least, offense. Like, you're going to be stealing a lot more kills. I would.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Because I know his Helter Skelter is the move that generally kills most, or his S2.
Yeah, the S2 is vicious too.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a bias because I love Baron.
Dude, Baron's super sick. Yeah, I'm using him too.
Found a way to keep his SC up and Nero's.
You said you haven't found a way to keep his and Nero's up?
Yeah, so like he starts the matches with a good amount of SC.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nero may have like one Helter Skelter, and of course I have Awaken and all that stuff on him. But then even when he comes back, the move's not charged enough for him to do it again, and then he dies.
So
right after.
what I do is Baron seems to have a pretty quick cooldown on his skills. So for me, I think that I just run something basic like either Pirate Ship or maybe Sword of Corpses on him for the arc. I put Abandon Sea on Nero because Helter Skelter does take a while to charge. When you run Spell Render and Abandon Sea on him, basically if you use his S2 to dash in on somebody and then use Helter Skelter, because basically you could charge somebody that is across from you, like on the top or the bottom, and then Helter Skelter to the person opposite, like up on the top. You can hit everybody, and then by that time, if you haven't killed anybody, Helter Skelter should still be charged, and you should get a second pass through to head all the way back to the bottom side. And along the way, you should have Pose for Glory, so that if you snag a kill, you get 5 extra seconds back on all your skills. And if you want to push it even further, and just because you don't have any other weapons, the Icy Guardian Sword gives you like 3 more seconds if you snag a kill. So that's what I'm currently running on him, because I'm running a hyper-aggressive build right now. So I'm on Baron, DeGrogue, Theria, and Nero is my offense right now. And it feels fucking crazy.
See, I wanted to use Baron and DeGrogue at the same time. But like I for some strange reason I felt like I needed to have the
what is this?
Like the Zekis in there.
Is this his paid armor?
Yes, it is.
You filthy whale.
Right. I'm not aware.
I mean, I have seen multiple paid weapons and paid weapons that aren't even that good, or paid. This is not what you think. I'm sorry. His armor is not that good. It's really not. It's fine.
See?
It's
he
fine.
was getting cursed like crazy.
Yeah, well, okay, well that's another big flaw though. Like you should always have. I mean, sweet, you got three curse up on him from this combo, so that's solid. So if you're getting cursed a lot though, Holy Water should be in your party almost all the time. Like it is one of the most powerful items in the game, and Baron and Kyle both really want Holy Water. Because they both are weak to it, which means it makes them auto-immune with 1 equipment slot. It effectively saves you, like, 12 SC. Like, it's crazy. So, yeah, if you find yourself getting cursed, like that's the answer right there. Um, Granted, like I'm not mad at this. I mean, it's pretty
Plus,
good
it's
loadout.
like the
I'm not mad
the
at it.
10
It's good.
the 10% SCT regen also does help a little bit too.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty good on his ailments. And then yeah, you gotta resist on the.
Anything to
Actually,
resist on paralysis
um,
that has
oh yeah,
moved.
for him to get to +3. Oh yeah, he's at +3 technically because of the arc on Theria. Oh no, oh no, it's not. Never mind, because she's not on and on offense.
You know,
That's right.
one of his
Oh, I would do that on
quick-
defense too. We were talking about different alternatives. Uh, well, nah, never mind. I changed my mind. I was gonna say you should be running Hime here as well, but if the goal's gonna be just to survive, it doesn't matter if they're constantly healing, really. So it doesn't really matter.
because I want to get to a point where I can't beat my defense team.
Yeah. It'd be very tough. It will definitely be very tough to get to that point, just because you have such a significant advantage on offense. But it can happen.
Well, at least
It should
I'm
at least be
going
annoying.
Annoying, exactly.
Yeah. I would say the biggest thing is if you can get the main goal should be to get Zekis into a loop of always having the cast space, which means nobody else can cast like the AoE spells, and on something like Grand Cross. Because if you're lifting people off the ground with Grand Cross, they just simply can't do anything. And I think Rudo is the only one that reliably fights against it. Baran is okay, just because he seems for some reason to be really fucking heavy, and he doesn't lift off the ground like other units, so he gets stunned by Grand Cross. But when it ends, he doesn't have to fall down for a second or two like everybody else. He's just on the ground and then able to attack. So I don't know why that is. I have a running theory that I need to test that movement speed might be tied to unit weight, and nobody's ever talked about it, and that might tie into knock-up effects. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't had time to test thoroughly to see if that's actually the case, and that might be what helps Rudo as well, as he's just a big-ass knight that stays on the ground, but I digress.
But speaking of the loop, so I think his cast speed should be, if I'm not mistaken, he already has auto cast. I gave him the cultist pendant. I don't think I gave him the other one. So just between those two, he should be around, I think, what, 70?
Probably, yeah. So I would say for Blizzard, that is perfect. If you decide to run Grand Cross, you'll want to also give him Radstone, because Grand Cross is because Grand Cross is a very long cast time, and so I think that if you get him to 90, I think it becomes instacast. If not, it's like a millisecond.
Okay, because the enemies were still getting blizzards through as soon, like the Gens, as soon as they would land, he would get the blizzard off before I got my Grand Cross off.
So
in the air, how the fuck?
Yep. So if you're on Blizzard, what you currently have should always win, as long as you become available to cast at the same time that they do. But yeah. Another tip for you for when you're auto playing, because it sounds like you play kind of similar to me, where you kind of swap between units and micromanage your attacks, things like that. And that's what I do often as well. If you didn't know, your units such as Zekis, when he has a Blizzard going, if you switch to him, you'll see that he's just queuing up another Blizzard. He's not doing anything else. If he has MP, he's going to be trying to use it. You can cancel that during the animation, throw off some skills, and then just... Oh, okay, you do go in and actually do some stuff. Oh, okay, perfect.
I'll either have him cast one of his skills, or I'll get him going with Glass Record to keep Baran on an enemy that I don't want regaining health, or at least wasting skills anyway.
Nice. Okay, cool. All right, that sounds great. I think what... So I assume you're not running Glass Record on defense, right? For him, at least? You are. So I would So this is perfect, because you can remove that to give him some HP ups when you teach them.
Gotcha.
So there you go. You have some SC right there. So when you have somebody focused on something like that, the AI, he will never cast Glass Record at all. Period.
Gotcha.
It just won't happen. And Blizzard is
the way they word it, you wouldn't think that. It just says priority, which still means like they'll probably. I interpret it as they'll probably still do a couple other things.
Yeah. Well, it's basically if if conditions exist that enable them to do that thing, they will try to do that thing. And since Glass Record costs much more MP to use, then Blizzard is always going to be the priority. So if you have MP to cast Glass Record, you also have MP to cast Blizzard, in which case he's always going to be trying to cast Blizzard. Unless you have multiple. So, like, for me, what I actually do on my Gen for defense, which I just switched off, but it was working for me for a while, I would run Grand Cross, and I would also run Tornado Storm, and I would be on Earth priority. So, Tornado Storm is not an AoE spell, which means it can stack on top of the area ones. So, sometimes, it wouldn't be super reliable, but every once in a while I would do a Grand Cross, and then if he was just stacked on MP, he would start throwing Tornado Storm. So if somebody got through it, or if, as people were landing, they would be landing on Tornado Storms, which would then lead into another Grand Cross, and they would just be completely fucked, and it was only just one sorcerer doing stuff.
Yeah,
So,
okay. Because
so,
I came across a triple sorcerer team.
Ugh.
I forget the guy's
when
name.
they're
Yeah,
well made, they are terrible. I would say on offense, it would probably be worth it to spend 2 SC just to throw Recast on your Theria or your Zekis, so that you can get to that magic 70% cast speed on Theria, so that if you get into a situation where you are fighting people and you're struggling against a mage, if you can manage to throw a Recast on her so that she can hit her cast speed, and then use Stardust, which only costs 6 to put on, and if you can use Stardust Heal instead of God Heal, it costs about the same amount of MP, but it hits everybody with a light heal, which then gives them that barrier. And when they have the barrier, magic does almost no damage in Arena, but the barrier prevents flinch. So unless their enemies are actively attacking each of your units, none of your team is getting flinched from that magic. So you can be spammed with all the magic in the world and you don't get flinched. You are completely unfazed by all of it because Theria is busted.
So that's how my Baron has been able to run through some blizzards.
Yeah. So you get the first little bit from Pirate Ship for the first 10 seconds, and then after that, if you've been healed by Theria and they haven't worked through because she gives a 1,000-point barrier, and they have to chew through that 1,000 points before you're allowed to flinch again. So every time she heals, she does it. So that's why Maiden's Beloved is such a big deal, because when you can AoE heal, and every time you AoE heal, you throw on a 1,000-point barrier that makes your entire team flinch immune until they break it. It's pretty gross, especially when it costs the same amount of MP as God Heal.
Yeah.
And it just gives it to all your team. It's disgusting. So
yeah, those are the teams I have the hardest time fighting.
Yeah. Sometimes it's worth just skipping. Sometimes.
And see, I don't know because until you mentioned to me that arc, I was like, I used to see it and I'm like, that art looks so familiar, but I don't really know what it is. So I would try it anyway, and then I would come to realize, oh, this is one of those damn AoE heal teams.
Yeah, and I would say, I know I said I wasn't going to talk on offense too much, but I would probably focus Zekis a bit more towards, like, you have him as a caster and with a little bit of aggro because you're throwing it in. I wouldn't try to do the Glass Record thing on him too, just because Theria does it so well already. So, like, I would probably just swap their arcs, because that arc is really busted on her.
Okay.
Like, really, like, beyond belief, because it multiplies, kind of. So it reduces by the 20% from her and then cuts it in half by him. It costs like 16 for her to use Glass Record.
Oh, versus the 30 for him. Okay. And see, all right, so and that brings me back to the whole getting her MP thing, which, you know, we talked about. So now that I know that, yeah, I can switch back. Because he normally would end up with way more MP than her. And, you know, while he has, before I had him on the Earth Magic, while they were up in the air, I just have him cast Glass Record while they're doing that, and then he'd immediately go back to his Earth Magic afterwards.
And that's not too bad. Another thing you can try to do, if you can manage to just, play around with the AI, tweak it a little bit, and also especially on offense, is if you didn't know, if while the death timer is happening on one of your units and you've lost a point on the scoreboard, if you can get Theria to resurrect, you get the point back on the board. So, if you didn't know, that is a thing that is really annoying. So, really well-made cancer teams, will have mastered this, and they will. I think that people usually will have, like, if they have Rudo and Theria, because of his increased cast speed to healing. I think Resurrect is technically healing, so they will have Resurrect on him. They will have it on Theria. They might even run it on like Kyle and other things like that, so that they're not running Sharp Eyes or anything like that. So when Grand Cross happens, even if some people are being flinched, if any one unit is being ignored and somebody dies, they're probably going to get a res off. And it's really hard to deal with. So the best cancer teams, the ones that I actually struggle with and still lose to, have mastered this art of CC and reviving their units perfectly. So I haven't quite figured out the perfect blend for that yet. I prefer to just nuke face as much as I can because it's fun, especially with Spellrender coming out. But yeah, so you got some good tools here. Like I said, ailment resists are better than some that I've seen. Not great, but still good. If you are looking for some ways to increase things like stun resist, there's some different armor options that you actually have. I don't know what all you have. So if you have the Four Lords arc, that's some of the best armor in the game. So that could go on.
I have to ether farm it.
Yeah, so when you do that, either Kyle or Varan gets that. Super duper good. As a backup armor, Red Strap armor actually comes with stun resist.
Oh.
Yeah, so that actually works pretty good if you just need to boon it. I would say that that's probably better than the Zerglus of Radiance. I mean, this helps your defense, I believe. I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad piece of gear, but I don't think it's as good. So I think Red Strap armor probably is going to serve him better, because I think that gets you up to... pretty sure that... Yeah, that makes you up to nil, so it's probably not +3, but it's still nil at least, so they need a V to get through you.
Gotcha.
Which isn't too bad. Alright, damn it. I need to plug in my phone, it's gonna die.
Plug that charger in.
I don't have my entire setup framed well so that I can have it plugged in with my current cord. Alright, there we go. Alright, whatevs. Good enough. Alright, so... Any other questions related to arena stuff while we are still in here?
I think the only thing I've come across, and this is barring some, one time I was watching my replays and like my party was attacking and like nobody's health was moving. Apart from that, I have come across where I fought some teams where one character. Maybe I didn't see the resurrect. I don't know, but like, I can kill like 3 of the characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll wait till they come back. I'll kill them again, and I'll be like, all right. I wouldn't think any of them have more than like 1 revive item or something on them. And even if they do, all 3 of them shouldn't have it. But there have been times where I've killed 3 members, killed them twice, and then all 3 of them still came back.
Yeah.
I was out of skills by then.
So it can happen. You have some of the pieces for it. So you have the Ring of Wisdom, the Mummy Suit. So if you give each of those to different units and they each have Decoy, that's 2 revives on 2 units already. Green Pendant can do it too. So that and Decoy on another one, that's 3 units that can auto revive now. Because they do stack. So Decoy stacks with the other ones. So you have the Mummy Suit, you have the Ring of Wisdom, you have Sukaru's jersey or whatever the hell it's called. You have Green Pendant. That's potentially 2 revives on all 4 units, or 3 revives on one of your units and 2 on 2 others. So you can definitely make it annoying. And also something you can do if it seems like there's a trend of what order your units are dying in. You could use from one of the world bosses the it's like the Styx Eye Scarlet Ring or some shit.
That.
Yeah, so
heal all allies and revive.
Yeah, so one of the things that I did for a while on Theria before when I still had her on God Heal because I didn't have the AoE stuff going yet, I had her on Green Pendant and Mummy Suit and the that ring. So every time she died, if anybody else was dead, they'd auto-revive. And she would have 3 revives because she'd have Decoy, Mummy Suit, and Green Pendant. So every time she would come back up and then die, everybody else would either get health back to survive better, or they would get a res.
Okay, see,
So it would be
it's like
annoying.
I know I have this stuff, but my whole thing is bringing it all together. I was like,
Yeah.
how are they having all these
There's
still
so
getting
yeah,
all
dude.
these skills?
There's so many items in the game, trying to keep them all together. I think there's still a ton of stuff that I'm not leveraging and I don't think of, but when I do find some of these things, it feels pretty good. So,
Okay.
in PvE too, I really enjoy running Theria on because she's usually the last one alive anyway. So when she's your support, having something like that, the Styx ring or whatever, and then green pendant and mummy suit, like she can revive and then she can alt revive everybody. Otherwise, the ring is reviving everybody, and then she can just god heal people back up. She's such a beautiful unit.
Yeah, and I recently got her. I didn't get her when she came out. I got her
Yeah.
when they reran her single one
Yeah,
during the anniversary.
I assumed by her SC, considering you have many other people built up, I assumed if you got her the first time around, she'd be maxed out already. So congrats on getting her though. So she's an awesome account ad. So all right, cool, dude. Well, is there anything outside of Arena that you wanted to touch on before we hop off of here?
Is there anything? Oh, okay. So I have a few ideas of where to farm materials. It was a lot easier back then because I used to just leave my machine on all day and farm the gold mine. But like now, I don't seem to be getting the same amount of materials, which is why some of my characters, or the rest of my characters, aren't as built out.
What kind of materials are you talking about? Just like like
just
clusters?
Not the clusters per se, but like the lower tier material for it, like the crystals and the crystallite.
Okay. I assume you're talking specifically about like red and purples?
Red and purple. Yeah.
Yeah, because I assume you already know about the Imperial Commander, and you already farmed that, right? Okay, great. So you're good there at least. I assumed you were based on everything else I've seen. So for me, I don't go out and I farm. I don't farm them specifically. My main plan of attack usually is I will go in and I will always watch events. So whenever the Grand Ability Gate is up, I make sure to go in. If I have more than enough clusters of red and purple, then I'll take in 2 Beast Hunter units, and I'll do them on the 2 waves that have the most units, and that'll give you the most amount of purples of the regular crystals. Otherwise, I'll clear out Friend Shop every month. I will clear out whatever event shops we got, just buying up whatever red and purple ones we got. My reds are generally pretty good, but purples, for some reason, more so than others, I'm always hard up for. So all the regular, like, medium level crystals, I always make sure to clear out any purples that there are from all the different trading shops. So, and that has led me to have plenty of what I needed, and then I'll occasionally, like I said, run double Beast Hunter units on the Grand Ability Gates. And that's kind of it. That's usually what I do, and usually gets me by pretty well.
Yeah, I don't buy out all of the ones from the Friend shops. I definitely don't. I think it also might have to do with the fact that I did get like 6 or 7 units in like a month.
That makes it very hard, yeah. For a long time, I didn't have anything for like 3 months, and I was like, God, I'm so stockpiled on stuff. This is great, but I don't have anything to do. I have no arcs to gain ether on because everything's maxed to 100. I've got no units to build, and then I got stuff from DMC, and then I got Gen, and then I got Medine, and then I got now Baran, and now I got Rabala before it went away. And I was like, holy shit. I'm all out of Mother Souls now, and like I still have enough stuff that I can instantly max out everybody's ability boards, so like I'm at least built up enough that I still have that luxury. I have like over 100 of all my clusters. But like souls and stuff, I'm not anymore. I'm completely drained out on my souls.
Yeah, I don't even have 100 of any clusters anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if you're running Imperial Commander, you should at least have greens and blues, but if you're not on it very often, then yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
that'd be tough.
Because I don't run that very often.
Yeah,
like I said, I was trying to get the other ones.
Yeah, I would say it's probably still worth, especially if you're not like overflowing with those. I would go and do that, especially with this recent announcement. The alchemy is going to be updating so that if you're low on the medium tier ones, you can break those clusters down to the lower tier ones now, and vice versa. So that'd be pretty sweet. So yeah, that's what I do, is just run Imperial Commander all the time, and then just use events to focus on getting the purples and reds. So
yeah, because even though I got Ruda when he first came out, I literally just built him last week.
And I'm sure it's a obvious question, but you do have Beast Hunter maxed out, right?
Of course. course. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, I'm just making sure. You seem to have most of the core, like pretty much all the core bases covered. So like you seem to solidly know what you're doing. But you know, every once in a while.
Focus in, man.
Yep. All right, man. Well, best of luck. Thanks for your time and let me hop on here and hang out. And best of luck to you. Yeah, if
Thank
you
you for doing this.
Hey, absolutely, dude. If you end up having any other questions, feel free to hop into the Discord. If not me, then other people in there will often have different updates and stuff too. So.
Oh, I tried to click the Discord link on your last video. It said the invite is expired.
Yeah, I cannot get these Discord links to work because I set them to last infinitely and use like an infinite amount of stuff. And people always say after like a few days they are no longer valid. So, yeah, I'll just generate a new one here.
Message. Yeah.
I also would like this to just be public. Like people should just be able to join, and I don't know why the hell they can't. It is very strange. So
yeah, I wouldn't even know how to do that.
I need to figure things out. But yeah, I will go ahead and copy this, and then I'm gonna send this over to you. Let's see, blah blah blah. Invite friends. You are. You're not actually my friend, apparently.
I just sent you a request.
Nah, I don't like you. I don't think we're gonna do that. Alright, cool. So I'm doing that. Now I can come over here and click some buttons and do some stuff, and we're gonna blah blah blah. No.
I give a couple of my other friends this link as well.
Alright, hold on. I apparently have to do a different process here. We're going to do that. We're going to do no limit. We're going to generate a new link. We're going to copy that link. I'm going to come over here. Alright. Boom. We should be good to go. Yay.
Right.
Yay and stuff.
I am in. Alright, cool.
Beautiful. Alright, man. Well, good luck to you. Hopefully, I mean, if we can even get you to like 1 or 2 wins every once in a while on defense, it's solid because defense is fucking hard. And it's really hard to keep up with because metas can shift and things can become difficult. And it's all over the place with them adding these formations. So,
yeah, I definitely appreciate the info.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. You, I mean, you got a solid account. It looks like from what I can tell. We didn't go through everything, obviously, but I got a pretty good sense of what you got. So the pieces are there. It's just a matter of putting them together in the right way. So that's half the fun. Enjoy, dude.
Thank you for playing Doctor on my account, man. Take it easy.
Absolutely.
Make sure y'all follow and subscribe to this guy. He knows what he's doing.
Thanks, man. You have a nice night. Good rest of your week.
Take it easy, man.
All right. Bye.
Bye.